There is a direct connection between the food on your plate and your sexual health. Whether you're a man or a woman, what you eat matters, not only for energy and wellness, but also for your sex life. Now, we're going to be talking about some research, busting some myths, and giving you practical tips you can actually use tonight. So make sure you keep watching. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the channel. I am Dr. Erica R. Jones, MD, a board certified family medicine physician. Now, sexual health isn't just about desire. It's about a lot of things: hormones, blood flow, mood, stamina, and even fertility. Food is going to play a starring role in this play. Studies show that poor nutritional habits and how you eat can actually make a dramatic difference in your sexual function and your satisfaction for men and for women. Now, when you talk about diet, I want you to think about the things that you probably want to stay away from, things that are going to have detrimental effects. And that's going to be unhealthy fats, processed foods, and added sugars. All of these can sabotage your blood flow, lower testosterone in men, and increase the risk of erectile dysfunction. Now, obesity and high protein fat diets um, that neglect other nutrients, they also disrupt the hormone balance and sexual performance. But I don't want to harp too much on the negative things. I want to talk about some things that you can actually add to your diet, like fruits, veggies, grains, and nuts. They're linked to improved sexual function, better urinary health, and specific foods like apples, berries, citrus fruits, watermelon, leafy greens, and nuts can improve circulation also, and boost some hormone levels and kind of drop that risk for ED on down. You also want to incorporate foods that are rich in zinc, like oysters, nuts, foods high in flavonoids like dark chocolate, citrus, berries are also going to help support testosterone and sperm health. Now, we talk about the risk of a poor diet in women. You know, diets, once again, high in processed foods, saturated fats, and excess sugar. These are going to fuel obesity and metabolic syndrome, which increase the risk of hormonal imbalance and sexual dysfunction. So it's important that you supplement your nutrients if you're not getting them in a diet. Your omega 3s, your folic acid, iron, calcium, all that is going to affect your life. Now we talk about certain diets that might promote sexual wellness. The Mediterranean diet, which is rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fish, and olive oil. So those type of things are things that women are going to look at actually, eating when it comes to sexual wellness. Healthy fats, avocado, fatty fish, reducing sodium. All of these are going to help. So when you think about the things that you can do that actually aren't going to cost you any extra money, right? You're not paying for a prescription or anything like that. Those are some things that you want to think about. So when you're shopping in the grocery store, just remember, pick up some berries, cherries, watermelons, citrus, apples, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, nuts, and seeds, especially those high-end omega 3s. These are all things that you can just add to your grocery list and try to incorporate those into your diet if you're not already eating those. Also, whole grains and beans are going to be helpful as well. And just remember, avoid processed meats, avoid trans fats, refined carbohydrates, and added sugars. Try to avoid highly processed convenience foods. I talk a lot about UPFs or ultra processed foods in another video. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out. So it's important that every time you go to the grocery store, every time you pull up at a restaurant, that you think and that you understand how what you're eating is going to impact your sexual health and your overall health, right? So food isn't the only sexual wellness, factor, but it's foundational. So just know that when you compare, just know that when you combine regular exercise, good sleep, a healthy weight, and healthy dietary choices, that can transform your sexual function, your energy, and your satisfaction. So just remember, add 1 serving of fruit or veggies to every meal, starting today. And you want to choose real food, whole foods over processed foods. Your heart and your sex life are going to thank you. Just remember that balance is key. Balance is key. When you think about foods, you think about foods that are going to be likely to cause high blood pressure and diabetes. Those chronic diseases can severely impact sexual health. They impact your blood vessels and your nerves, both of which are crucial for sexual function in men or women. So it is very important to maintain your sexual wellness with good dietary choices. High blood pressure and diabetes are prime risk factors for sexual dysfunction. Why? Because they affect the blood vessels and the nerves that are required for arousal and performance. High blood pressure can restrict blood flow, and that's going to be especially problematic for men's erections and overall genital health for both sexes. Talk about diabetes, that can cause nerve damage, diabetic neuropathy, and reduce hormone production, leading to lower libido, ED, vaginal dryness, and less sexual sensation. So, you really want to think about the foods that you are eating. So you want to avoid foods that are going to raise your blood pressure and diabetes risk. What foods are these? Once again, the highly processed foods, the fast food, the packaged meals, and the snacks. They contain a lot of extra sodium and sugars and unhealthy fats that increase your risk of high blood pressure and diabetes. You don't want to eat a lot of red and processed meats. You want to avoid those. You want to avoid the breaded and fried foods, the sugary drinks, the salty snacks, and the desserts that can all contribute to sugar spikes. Also, you want to avoid those same foods because they can worsen weight gain. That's going to compound the risk of chronic disease and sexual dysfunction. So just remember that what you put into your mouth is going to affect your bedroom and not just your sexual health, your overall health. It is important that you remain mindful in an age and time where we are constantly being distracted and we are constantly in grind culture and always in a rush. It's important that we're mindful about what we eat. Men with diabetes are 2 to 3 times more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction. Did you know that? Now, that is some high risk. So, you want to make sure that you're paying attention. Sexual dysfunction from these conditions can lead to anxiety, depression, and actually worsen and, ruin your sexual relationships. So once again, I'm Dr. Erica R. Jones, MD. If you got any value from this video, make sure you like it, share it if you know someone with high blood pressure and diabetes who might need a little bit more motivation to take care of themselves and to make better dietary choices. You could send them this video and let them know, hey, Dr. Jones is on it, and Dr. Jones is trying to help you lead a healthier life. So once again, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for your time. Stay with me as I talk more about healthy tips. If you want better sex, more energy, and lasting health, start with focusing on what's on your plate. And subscribe for more evidence based wellness tips. And also leave a comment below. What foods have you found that have made a big difference in your health and your sexual health? Share your story below.